Hi, welcome to another episode of my channel. So, in my earlier years, my father, he only speaks Chinese. And my mom, spoke English to me. She really rarely spoke any Chinese to me at all, Cantonese in particular. And so my father, you know, I would say that I learned a good amount of vocabulary over the years. But, you know, it never got to the point where I could converse in like having a full conversation in Chinese, for that matter, right? And so it wasn't until some, you know, 22 years later that when I lived in China for a little bit, 3 months, and like you have no choice but to completely immerse yourself, right, and really learn the language. You're forced to. That I became, at least fluidly conversational, right? But before that, I always was struggling with like language, right? Because my father, like, there were things that I cannot convey to him that I really wanted to because I was never good at it. My vocabulary was not enough in Chinese, and also my ability to have a full conversation, it wasn't there. It would be short answers, right? At most, right? With limited vocabulary. And so that language barrier, it did my relationship with my dad at the time was already bad, but not being able to say what you need to say, or like him telling whatever he said to me, not getting it all, that's another discrepancy altogether. So it's like two double whammies, right? So after I lived in China for a little bit and came back, and my Chinese improved by tenfolds, and then also immediately teaching the language, as elementary or beginner's Cantonese all the way to intermediate. Wow, tremendous progress has been made. Like, my ability to speak it was 5 to 10 times better than what it was. And so then when I was able to speak to him, we would have great conversations and we would actually be like friends, right? And that is such a pertinent, right, connection, that was formed, and it really, like, is so important, to speak like whatever your father or your mother's tongue is. If you want to have a relationship with them, you absolutely must know how to express those words to them, right? And like, I can tell you a lot of the Chinese who are born here, right, or most other people who I've experienced for that matter, right, they are not fluent with their father or their mother tongue. They only know English. And there's many reasons for that. It could be that the parents don't pass it on, right? It could be that in school, when they're trying to speak the language of their father mother tongue, the kids or the teachers or some other adult says, "Oh, why are you speaking that for? You're supposed to speak English," right? It could be the media, or that they're, just speaking English and so they don't lose it, right? And so on and so forth, right? But I just want to tell you that, please, if your parents or your grandmother or your someone who matters to you, right, you really care about, and you're going to be with them for a long time, if there's a language barrier, do what you can to really master language, right? Some people, it's exceptional because they just like your presence there. They just trust you, they feel you, they connect with you, and that's great, but that is on the more rare side, right? That also comes with, I guess, wisdom, right? And connection and, love, but, sometimes you just have to have an in-between thing to validate or express it as a catalyst, right? And so therefore I encourage and urge you, the language barrier, just get that one thing done, and it'll make a world of a difference. You will not feel challenged, and that person will not feel like it's difficult to get through to you too. All right, so just do that one thing. Thank you.